Welcome to Before Earth, an Odyssey Begins, Episode 2, being live streamed via Twitch. So, when we last left the Kerbals, they had made some initial forays into the atmosphere and even into suborbital flight. We did some contracts, and so now they are ready for a big new contract. Orbit Kerbin. So here we go. You're going to get, as an advance, 25,984 Kerbucks. Upon completion, we'll get 68,504 Kerbucks. If we fail, we will lose 33,000 Kerbucks. Also, upon completion, we will get 15 Science and 23 Reputation. Now, you'll notice it has +3 under Science and -8 under Reputation. That is because I have adopted a strategy. So you see I have an unpaid research program. So it takes 25% of my reputation gains and yields 1 Science for each 2.436 reputation, which is, about every 2.5 reputation. So I'm doing that because I find that reputation is fairly easy to get, and that Science is a little bit tougher to get. So, let's go into our vehicle assembly building and take a look at what we got. So this was a ship that I used to ferry 3 different tourists into a suborbital flight, and I used this right here, this hitchhiker storage container. The reason I did that is it's relatively cheap, it's relatively light, and it can fit up to 4 Kerbals, and I needed to fit 3. Previously I was using the Mark I inline cockpit to ferry passengers, but I can only do 1 at a time, reasonably. This is not a very aerodynamically sound shape, and really, unless you're doing multiple contracts to ferry VIPs, it's not very cost effective. Because if you look at this, it's 17,000, but really all you're getting back from it, when you recover the vessel, is this 7,000. So you're losing about 10,000. So you have to be ferrying multiple tourists to make this cost effective. But then again, hey, you've got the hitchhiker storage container, so you can ferry up to 10 of them in it. This is actually at my part limit, as you can see. It's not very close to my mass limit, but yeah, this cannot fit any more parts. I think if I were to redesign it, I'd probably take away some of these batteries here, maybe replace them with winglets or fins for increased stability. But then again, it did do its job, so Alright, so let's save and continue that, and I will load up the Orbiter 0. This is a ship that I designed earlier in the day, and it is designed to essentially do nothing but fly to space, get into orbit, and come back. Now normally, if I hadn't been to, it does have a Science Junior on it too. So, if I had not already been to space before in suborbital flights, I'd probably be bringing even more Science. Although it does have a full complement of the Science experiments I can do, except for the press mat, which I actually only recently unlocked. So let's add that. Add it here. Move this up a little bit. So there we go. 1 more Science experiment I can do on the way up. Or even in space. I think I'll do it in space rather than high atmosphere or something. So yeah, this hopefully will get me to the moon, or not moon, I'm sorry, into orbit. This is not going to the moon by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, we've got a lot of thumpers. These being the largest solid rocket boosters that I have access to right now. Topped with nose cones for increased aerodynamic, for decreased drag, really. 3 AVR8 winglets for control in the lower and, really the lower atmosphere. So let's take a look at what we've got. So we've got the swivel. Now I like the swivel because while it has less thrust than we go over here, and the Reliant, it does have gimbal thrust vectoring, which means that my rocket will be much easier to control. As a result, I don't actually use the Reliant very much. I like having that gimbal thrust vectoring. So let's take a look at what we've got in our next stage after that stage. This is our middle stage here. These thumpers are the first stage. And let's see. So here we go. We've got the Terrier. The Terrier, of the standard 1.25 meter engines, is the lowest thrust but highest specific impulse. So, since it's science time, because I said so, specific impulse is anything specific is over unit mass. So, specific impulse is how much thrust you get per unit mass of fuel. So yeah, I like to have the Liquid Terrier on board for orbital insertion, because provided that I have enough time to apoapsis, it can get me there with a relatively low amount of fuel. Let's take a look. We got rid of our monopropellant. I'm going to reduce our snacks down to, let's go 15. Alright. So, let's launch the Orbiter 0. Unable to launch. Over 30 parts. What do you mean over 30 parts? What extra parts of that? Oh! Yeah! The press mat barometer brought us to 31 parts. Did not think about that. So let's get rid of this communitron. Who needs a communitron? There we go. That should do it. So if you can see in here, we've got a flight computer. So this is not a stock part. This is part of the Kerbal Engineer system, and it gives me access to various in-flight data, which is very handy. It does take up a part slot though, and it does have some weight. You can see it here in science. There we go, 500 Kerbucks, mass 1/1000th of a, or was that a kilogram? I'm not really sure. And yeah. So here we go. Let's launch. And Ben, no, this is not going to go to Moon. I can't imagine it has enough Delta V for that. So, activate SAS, and here we go. So I don't have struts unlocked, which is, you know, a little scary, but I think we'll be okay. I would have liked to add some struts between these solid rocket boosters. Also going a little bit off course. Not sure what's up with that. I seem to be trying to pitch down. Oh, I'll bet it's the pressure barometer that I added. Maybe I should have put that inside my storage bay. But, you know what? That's okay. Alright, here we go. Stage. So yeah, normally I would have put struts between the solid rocket boosters and also some between the middle stage and the solid rocket boosters, but yeah, don't have struts unlocked in this save, so that is not an option. Alright, so our apoapsis is already above 70 kilometers. Our time to apoapsis is doing just fine. So let's do a little bit of time acceleration. Only going to point to ×2 because physical time acceleration can be dangerous. Alright, so I'm going to start flattening out a little bit. Go. I'm going to throttle up just a bit. I want to keep my time to apoapsis going down a little bit. So as you can see here, this is all from my flight computer, including this stuff here that's very hard to see, but is still somewhat readable. Yeah, the flight computer and Kerbal Engineer system is a great mod. If you are into mods, I recommend it. So, now getting to this black area, which basically means that for most purposes there's essentially no air resistance. So I'm flattening all the way out. As you can see, doing that will start to widen out these 2 points here where I intersect with the ground. And ultimately, all that orbiting is falling while missing the ground. You fall so fast that you miss the ground. Alright, so as my time to apoapsis is dropping down, it's time to really start opening up on that throttle. So, assuming that I didn't wait too long to do this, I should be okay. And I'm perfectly willing to go past my apoapsis and continue burning sideways. And, Ben, I'm not sure what you mean by this is not FTL, this is a lie. So if you could clarify that, that would be great. Alright, here we're about to do stage and terrier. There we go. Now I always wanted to call the terrier the poodle, which is the 2.5 kind of version of the terrier. I don't know why, but I just like the name poodle better. I don't particularly like poodles more than terriers, as, you know, dogs, but... Oh, and sorry, that was Duke that said that. I am not paying enough attention to the chat box, but Duke, the question stands. Right. So, I want this periapsis height here to go not just away from negative, but above 70 kilometers. Oh, the title does say George plays FTL. Well, I will have to edit that. And there we go! I am officially in orbit. There we go. You'll see I'm getting some more of these achievements. The achievements are just nice little, hey, congratulations. Again, they don't give you any money. So, if you are still watching this, feel free to reload and you will get the correct title. So there we go. This is not a very circular orbit, as you can tell here. I've got my apoapsis at 123, my periapsis at 74, but I don't really care. And just to make it official, we are going to make sure that we actually orbit. So here we go. Because if you don't go around at least once, then, okay, fine, you're in an orbital trajectory, but you're not actually orbiting, are you? Or at least that's what I say. And, yes, Duke, you are correct that I just didn't change it from the last time that I had a stream going. Alright. So, now that I'm back in the, atmosphere, or not atmosphere, sorry, sunlight. Oh, look. Yay. Money. Alright, let's do some science. So everyone likes science. Everyone. Observe the mystery goo. Yeah, see, I've already done this in suborbital trajectory, so I'm not getting much, but hey, I might as well get it. Alright. Let's log the temperature. There we go, there's an experiment I haven't done in space near Kerbin. And there we go, there's another one. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to EVA and grab this science here. If you notice, it's actually below a decoupler. So if I don't get it, then... Oh man, good thing. Yeah, if I don't get it, then there's no way for me to return the science. So we pop out Jeb, get an EVA report. Let's store that. Alright, and activate his MMU. Have him come down here. Collect data. Yep, it's okay if it's not functional anymore. Let's grab that. Let's see if we get another EVA here. Kerbin's deserts. Yep, so that's another one. We'll store that. And, you know, I'm fine with just getting those two. That's enough for me. And Ben says that he is going to start up a new KSP science mode and put everything besides the sun in orbit around Jupiter. And I would be interested to see how those missions go, actually. That does sound interesting. So, if you're not aware, one of the mods that I have installed here, mostly for testing purposes to see that other mods work, is HyperEdit. And in HyperEdit, you can change the orbits of planets. So earlier today, just to fool around with HyperEdit, in I believe it was a sandbox game, I put everything in orbit around Jewel. Or not everything, sorry, just Kerbin and its moons. And that was a lot of fun. To just, I mean, you could see Jewel in the sky from Kerbin. It was really cool. And yeah, Ben, you do have 4 mods to update, and I also have those mods to update, but I have been slacking on that. I probably should get around to that. So, I do not have to update my RSS mods, or real... Is it Real Scale Solar System, or is it Real Solar System? I'm not even sure what it stands for. I know the R stands for Real, or at least I strongly suspect it. So here we go. Time to do our return burn. So if you watch my periapsis height, once it goes below 70, I'm definitely on a suborbital trajectory. I'm putting it at 48. Actually, I'll probably put it down to 35. Alright, 34.6, that's not bad. Let's take a look at our electrical charge. Not much. Unfortunately, I don't have solar panels unlocked yet, so I can only recharge my my electrical charge via the alternator and engines, and unfortunately, the Terrier has no such thing. Alright. So let's do a little time acceleration to get into the atmosphere. Keep pointing retrograde. So I'm going to have a rocket assisted entry because I have plenty of fuel left. And Ben says that RSS probably stands for Real Scale Solar System, but I think solar system is 2 words, isn't it? Real Solar System? Alright. That was my initial thought, which is what Ben has written to me. So the reason I'm going to do a rocket-powered assist rather than just going in on my heat shield, which also works, is that I have this fuel, and there's no way I'm recovering this stage. So if I paid for the fuel, I'm going to use the fuel. But not yet. First I'm going to get lower. So really what I want to see is some heating occur. And also, if I can get this velocity above 2500, then I will have unlocked another contract for a record speed. So hopefully I can do that too. So let's see, when are we going to get some heating? Orbital velocity is still going up. Alright, there's comes some of it. Our velocity is still going up, so it's not too bad. I did EVA to recover the science, Ben. Were you not watching? Jebediah got right out of here, and he went to go get some science. In fact, I can even review the stored data. So there we go, material-based study while in space near Kerbin. See that? Stored. Alright. So I don't think we're going to get up to 2500, so I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to start burning off some of this fuel. Ben recommends against staging, and I am not going to be staging at this point. I am going to be using up my fuel first, and I believe that will probably get me down to a very reasonable speed. Maybe even reasonable enough to land over land, but probably not. Well, maybe. I doubt it, though. And yes, Ben, I am too fast, but luckily, I have a rocket. Stage that. Right in on my heat shield. Alright. So I'm tipping myself a little bit towards the ground because I'd like to slow down more rather than less. Since Kerbal Space Program 1.0, you're actually able to use body lift. So if I were to pitch this slightly flatter, I'd actually go farther and slow down more slowly. But that's not what I want. I actually want to go less far and slow down more quickly. Ideally, I could land over land, but that's probably not going to happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen. In fact, it's going to not happen so much that I'm going to reverse my plan. I'm actually going to try and slow down more gently. So yeah, as my body provides lift at this angle, which is closer to the horizon than my retrograde marker, I'll actually transfer some of my vertical speed into horizontal speed. So I'll have a lower vertical descent rate, which is, you can see right here, is minus 330 or so. There we go. I am out of the re-entry heating paradigm. And now I'm going to slow down so I can deploy my parachutes as quickly as possible, or as soon as possible. There we go. Parachutes deployed. And there we go. That, barring some ridiculous unforeseen tragedy, which since it's unforeseen, I don't foresee, will be a safe touchdown after the first orbit of Kerbin. So, there we go. The Orbiter 0 was a successful mission so far. You never know, there might be some kind of horrible bug that occurs, but... Yeah. And I actually did manage to land over the solid ground, which I did not think was going to happen, but I am happy that it did. I mean, don't get me wrong, I cut it super close. But we don't need this anymore. So let's see, we did that, and look at that, 417,544. 37 science, soon to be augmented by the various science experiments I did in space. Now, one of the really nice things that Kerbal Engineer gives you is altitude terrain. It tells you how far above the ground you are. Which, so if you were watching my previous episode, you'll know that this is your altitude above sea level. So if you look, here we go. This is at 178, and altitude terrain says 104.7 centimeters, which is essentially 0. So, yeah. That is a very handy thing. And let's recover. I've already done science in the desert, so I don't need to do it again. I don't need to get any EVA reports or anything. 96 science. There we go. Lots of recovery for the parts. Very nice. And Jebediah, of course, gained an experience and advanced to level 1. Which means next time we go into orbit, I do not want to use Jebediah. I want to use Valentina, and maybe even other Kerbals. So let's see, with 96 science, we can unlock one of these 4th tier items. We can do landing, which would be nice because it would give me the 2.5 meter shield. Miniaturization is great because getting a docking port really helps with multi-part missions. Then again, photovoltaic cells and lights are really nice, even if I never remember the lights. These two are currently empty because I don't have mods that use them installed. Let's see. A lot more aerodynamics. Of course, I could also get... oh, that's empty. I'd also go here, get some various inventory bits, stability enhancers, an empty fuselage, struts. Really, everything that's up here is really good. I mean, external fuel ducts for asparagus staging, nice tiny engines. Now, the big engines aren't actually all that handy for me right now because I don't have too many fuel tanks that can use them. So, that's probably the only one I can really rule out at this point. So I'll tell you what, why doesn't the chat box let me know what should be next for our Kerbals? Should I get electronic or electrics? Miniaturization? Advanced flight control? I mean, RCS, gotta love RCS. Aerodynamics? Oh, nothing? I'm not gonna get that. General construction? And, or fuel systems. I'm probably not going to get propulsion systems at this point. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat window. And then I will do advanced flight control is what Duke says. Does Ben have a counter? Now advanced flight control is pretty great because RCS is a lot of... it's very handy. And Ben also agrees that advanced flight control is the way to go. And Duke says that he has no idea what the best option is. But you know what, Duke? That's okay. You don't have to. It's just a game. I mean, it's a game for me, not for the Kerbals. For them, it's deadly serious. But, yeah, let's do it. Advanced flight control. At the very least, I'll get advanced inline stabilizers. And so these are reaction wheels that are 1.5 meter in size. Although Ben now says fuel systems. Ben, you gotta make up your mind, man. I do actually kind of like fuel systems better because, well, I mean, external fuel ducts and having the single part large fuel tank, really helpful for doing things like moon or flybys and stuff like that. So, I guess, yeah, I'm probably gonna go for fuel systems because I really like asparagus staging. So, yeah, there we go. We've bought fuel systems. So, Duke, of course, agrees with... Ben, stop changing your mind. It's too late. So, let's see what... well, yes, I do need all of it eventually. Let's explore moon. Achieve orbit around about the moon. Transmit, recover science space around. Land. That's probably more than I'm going to do right now. If I'm being entirely honest. So... although, how long do I have to do it if I accept it? Oh, it never expires? Well then, yeah, I'm going to take it. Of course I'm going to take it. Yes, Ben. Everything helps. I agree. Alright, but I am also going to test a Spark liquid fuel engine, because it's landed at Kerbin, and that's really easy. Science here from space around Kerbin. Yeah, that seems like a thing I can do. Understands. I think that's it for now, although I might end up doing this at some point. This space flight on Kerbal. Flyby, yeah, not going to do this right now. Alright. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is test that engine, because that should be really easy. Alright. I don't even... Alright. So it is the Spark liquid engine. So first, let's put a tiny little fuel tank right there. And then it is the Spark engine. Let's get rid of virtually all of the fuel and all of the oxidizer. And make sure that, yep, to Spark. Kerbin landed. So here we go. Like I said in my first video, if you have a test this landed at Kerbin, that is easy money. Hooray! We just got about 5,000 and a science, so... and a reputation. So there we go. Easy. Hooray! So I say we do a flyby of the moon and get some science while we do it. If we can get a free return trajectory, all the better. So let's get rid of this. This is stupid. Let's get back to the orbiter 0. So I'm going to take suggestions for the name of my Let's Go to the Moon ship. So let me know, again, in the chat box, of course. That's not what I want. I want this. This attached. 30, huh? Oops, I keep clicking the wrong one. Actually, I probably want to turn this into one of those larger fuel tanks too. So let's get rid of this. There we go. 3 times radial symmetry. I'd like to go 4, but I cannot because I don't have enough parts for that. Because as you can see, I am cutting it close with parts. Which doesn't make sense. How am I cutting it close with parts now? Name it the Apollo Creed. Alright, I'll name it the Apollo Creed, that's fine. Alright, so now that we've gotten rid of a few things, let's add the wings back. I like these AVR8 winglets. They provide a fair amount of control, and they're also one of the lighter winglets available. So that is something that I approve of. There we go, at 30. So... all this. I'm not going to name it Creed the Band, because I don't want to spend the money or kill the Kerbals necessary to fly it into the sun, which is of course what would have to happen if I named it that. I do not want these on the same stage. That is a terrible idea. There we go. So let's double check staging. And of course it is wrong. Right. These 3 come. Do I have extra separators? I do. was probably part of the problem. Let's try that one again. Alright, so I like to put these down low to avoid, well, to lessen the chances that they'll smash back into my rocket and destroy things. So with those gone, I should have more parts. Yeah, put in 3 more parts. So let's open this up. This is going to be a fairly long trip, so let's add in a couple. Oh, yeah. Let's add a couple of batteries. Not 3. I like having them visible. Makes it feel more, I don't know, official. And let's add a press map barometer. And yeah, we'll put it in here. So there we go. 30 parts, 40.6 tons, assuming metric tons. 21.8 meters tall, 4.3 meters wide, 4.3 meters long. Alright. So, yeah, let's try going to the moon. Maybe. Oh, let me save it. So here we go. Off to the moon. Now, do I have to transmit science? Because if I have to transmit science, that's no good. Let's double check this. Transmit or recover. Good. Alright. Here we go. So, step 1 for me is get into orbit. Now this should be pretty easy because this ship is basically the same thing as the Orbiter 1, but with, you know, almost twice as much fuel. So if Orbiter 1, or Orbiter 0, sorry, if Orbiter 0 can get into space and into orbit, then Apollo Creed should have absolutely no problem. So here we go. So far I'm happy with stability. Yep, no monitor repellent, that's a plus. I'm fine with leaving the 50 snacks in there. Start to tilt a little bit. So, if you're an experienced Kerbal Space Program player, you notice that I have this Navbal up by default. Yeah, that's one of the mods I'm using, and it's great, because I hate clicking on the little triangle, or I think it's delete is the hotkey. Yeah, none of that. That's terrible. So here we go, up above 70 kilometers. Although, not by much, so I'm going to push that up a little bit more. So I don't want it to fall below 70 kilometers as I travel through the atmosphere. Alright. So flatten out a little bit. By a little bit, I guess I mean a lot. And Duke, I will see you later as well. It's been fun having you. Please come back. Alright. Here we go. Beginning the orbital insertion burn. I'm actually a little bit nervous about this one because my time to apoapsis is dropping rapidly, and yeah, my periapsis height is not going up super fast. So I may have misjudged when I should have cut out for my ascent burn. But, you know, it's okay. Going to have to start burning up. So turning yourself up can help keep you above 70 kilometers for longer, which will allow your periapsis height to come up fast, well, to come up while you're still high enough up, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But, hey, let's see. It could happen. Oh, my periapsis, time to apoapsis is going back up again. So I've got this at this point. That was a close one, to be honest. Throttle down a little bit, save on some fuel. Alright. With that, I'm gonna get to orbit. That was a close one. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna call that a very well-planned middle stage. Yep, totally not just I got lucky or anything like that. It was actually a very well-planned middle stage is what that was. Yep, and I don't want to hear any different. Alright, well that's close enough, and by being in a low orbit, I actually don't need as much fuel to escape to the moon, because of the Oberth effect. So here we go. So what we want to find is a free return trajectory. There we go. That's gonna do it. Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna save because, you know what? Whatever. I like saving. Alright, here we go. Get a little closer. I'm gonna try and get to about 24-ish seconds. That's good. So, provided I have enough fuel to make this burn, which, as I look at my estimated burn, which apparently lied to me, which I am not happy about, I might not. I am, yeah, I'm not hugely happy that I was lied to about how long my estimated burn time was. That is one of my small complaints about Kerbal Space Program, is that, yeah, it does not seem like the game is very reliable with burn estimates, and I don't know why it wouldn't be, because it's not like it doesn't know what engine you have and how much you weigh. It seems to me like it would be pretty straightforward to figure out what your estimated burn time is. Then again, I'm not a coder, and I also am not doing any of the math. So maybe I am being unreasonable in that expectation. I don't feel like I am, but, you know, maybe I am. Alright, so let's see what we got. Alright. Let's correct it. So yeah, it's not very unusual that after you kill off your a very closely timed maneuver node, that you will be slightly off. And it's not really a very big deal. So there we go. Yeah, 8 meters per second is what I need to correct for that. That is not a problem. So let's... I cannot auto warp so far. There we go, warp to next maneuver. And Ben says that the incorrect burn estimate was because I hadn't been burning at 100%. But if I had been burning it less than 100%, you'd think that would increase my estimated burn time, not decrease it. Well, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Nor does it actually matter all that much when I do this particular burn. But that's okay. Here we go. Good enough. Alright. Let's quick save again. And I've still got almost half the fuel from this tank, which is great. I probably could establish an orbit, but I don't want to. I'm just going to play it safe. So, and yeah, this is pretty far away from the moon. I could get it closer, but that would screw up my free return, and I don't want to do that. So let's warp to my encounter with the moon. And could have taken Valentina, I suppose. I probably will next time I go to the moon so that she gets more experience points. Alright. Here we go. I am now in space near the moon. Well, high above the moon or something. I don't know. Look at that. 50 science. Assuming I can recover it safely. Let's get Observe Mystery Goo. 20. So that's up to 60 science if I can recover all of this. 60. Alright. Pressure. That. Crew report. Yeah, 10. Not great. 10 isn't great. Let's, I like getting out of the ship when it's facing up. I find it easier to control my guy on EVA that way. So let's see, EVA report. And now, Ben, pay attention, because I am about to collect data. So here we go, collect the data. Whoa! Grab. Board. And there we go. Ready for a return to Kerbin. What's that quick saving? I don't know. Right. About to escape the moon. Very nice. So there we are, back on a orbit with Kerbin, which will drop us into 54 kilometers into the atmosphere. Well, above the surface, which is, you know, about 16 kilometers. Well, because 7.5 is close to 15 kilometers into the atmosphere. So let's warp here. And Ben says that he saw nothing. Well, that's too bad, Ben, because I did some pretty awesome EVA maneuvering. And yeah, I'm basically just the king of EVA, and yeah, you should all worship me as such. Because I'm not just the king of EVA, I'm apparently the god king of EVA, like an Egyptian pharaoh. And while it's not science, it is history, and I am a history major, so here's a little bit of history trivia about the word pharaoh. The word pharaoh actually literally means, in Egyptian, great house, and came to be a title for the king in colloquial Egyptian, in much the same way that we refer to the president's decisions as decisions of the White House. So if the White House is launching an investigation, that means that the president and his staff are in charge of a new investigation. So there you go. A little bit of trivia for you. Egyptian actually contains numerous other titles that are more original to the pharaoh, like a title meaning king. So there is your history trivia. In fact, actually, the word pharaoh in Egyptian is written with a little picture of a house. So, but I did EVA and get the science. That is something that has already occurred. It need not occur again. So let's see how I'm doing here. I actually brought way more power than needed. I probably could have gotten away with this whole thing without any batteries. Although I don't know what I would have done with those extra parts. So here we go, I'm in the atmosphere. And I'm not just going to aero brake, because that would probably take too long. So yeah, bring down that apoapsis. I like watching the apoapsis drop, but it might be more fun now that I'm on the dark side to actually watch it in the map. I was going to say it's more fun to watch the ship, but not when you're on the dark side of the planet. That's actually really boring. I think I'd have a speed. Oh well. Alright, so I'm not actually dropping it into the atmosphere. I want to try and get a fair amount of aero braking done. Mostly because I want to try and see if I can't land on the light side of the planet. The day side, I don't know. So I'm going to ride back in on the engine. If the engine blows up, it's not that big a deal. I just want to try and get to the light side. And also, the longer you spend going horizontally, the softer your landing is likely to be, and the slower you bleed off speed, which is all generally safer. So I'll click on my little jerry can here to keep this up so I can keep track of my ablator, even though I've never, ever run out of ablator. Ben, have you run out of ablator? Because I never have, and yet I never adjust it. I always just leave it at 200 and then use like 3 units of it. I did use a lot of it on a science game, Entry to Eve. But I mean, that's Eve. Eve is like that. So you can see this going down quite a bit. So if I start to get to the Terminator, and this is not dropped into the lower atmosphere, or, well, into the atmosphere at all, I'm definitely going to burn more. Let's see how we're doing on temperature. That's not bad at all. It's 53 Celsius. I mean, I wouldn't want to stand in 50 degrees Celsius weather, but it's far from my maximum temperature down here of 1,726.85 Celsius. So, I think I'll be okay. Perhaps this is at 40 kilometers, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think this will work. Ben asks if I can even adjust a blader, and I actually don't know. I think that's something that I should check out after this. But have you ever used up your 200 ablator that comes with the standard 1.25 meter heat shield? 'Cause I've never even come close. So, let's see. Yeah, it's still looking pretty good. I do like that Kerbal Space Program has included actual re-entry heating, because in 0.9, which is when I started playing the game, they did not, and re-entry was just absurdly easy. Basically, as long as you didn't go so fast that you died, that was it. That was the only thing you had to worry about. And at first, I did not like it becoming harder, because, well, even in 0.9, the game wasn't very easy. But now that I've been playing with it, and I'm a little bit more... I did not mean to hit spacebar. Whoops. But yeah, even though I've, as I've come to get more used to it, I actually really do like the re-entry heating. It adds a little element of difficulty that was not there before. And, yeah, so what I was trying to do is hit M for map, and I hit spacebar. Oops. Oh well. It's not... I don't think it's going to be too big a deal. At least I hope not. I think I have a quick save, so it definitely won't be too big a deal. It might be boring, but it won't be disastrous. And there goes my periapsis down. It's going to be intersecting. It looks like I'm going to land in this continent here, which I almost never go to. Although actually at the speed at which it's dropping, I might end up in the ocean over here. Hope not. Yeah, I'm going to splash down. Probably at night. Oh well. I was overzealous with my burn in the upper atmosphere. And that's what you get. You get a nighttime landing. Without lights, because I haven't unlocked lights. Because even though there are lights in the VAB and the spaceplane hangar, you can't put those on a spaceship yet. Don't ask me why, you just can't. Oh well. So there we go, I'm down to 195 ablator. So with this shallow re-entry, that actually is going to be making pretty good use of my ablator. What's my vertical speed? It's about minus 30 meters per second. So yeah, I'm falling pretty slowly, which suits me just fine. And this lander is, this return capsule is light enough that I don't think that a water re-entry, even on just the 1 Mark 16, is going to be a problem. And so you see that I have myself pitched down. Again, that's to arrest my vertical speed and to basically transfer some of that vertical speed into horizontal velocity via aerodynamics, which is another thing that was not possible in 0.9. And here we've got a sunrise coming up. Am I going to land on the day side? I think I am. Look at that. So at least I'll get the daytime landing, which is a big thing that I did want. Yeah. So as you can see, a fair number of my missions end up being broadly successful, but not because of careful planning. Mostly because, I guess I'm lucky, and also I've played the game enough that I have a good feel for what's going on. So, wow, 191 ablator. That's one of the lowest I've ever had on a re-entry to Kerbin. As you can see, my G-force is really low. Take a look down here. Less than 1. It looks like it's about 1/3 of a G. I'm bringing myself closer to my prograde vector. Or sorry, retrograde vector. Now we're picking up some real vertical speed. As we do that, our velocity really starts to drop off. Alright. So yeah, snacks are supposed to be 1 per Kerbal per day, approximately, but it's been 2 days, and Jeb has not had a single one. So I don't know what's up with that. Let's see the ground, Jeb. Where is it? I guess that's probably it. Alright, sunrise. So, yeah, one trick that you can do when you're coming in from Moon or Minmus or someplace like that is that if you're in a free return trajectory, try to make it relatively shallow, because you'll be going really fast, and if you can bleed off that speed more slowly, then you're less likely to just slam into the ground like a brick. So, even though my G meter is climbing up past 2 and into the 2.5 range, it's still a fairly gentle re-entry. Now I'm coming out of heating. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to be pretty soon able to deploy my parachute. And given how light this is, that should be perfectly fine re-entry. So, not going to do it till it says safe, but yeah, and I'm still perfectly high enough that my parachute will slow me down with plenty of time. And yeah, the re-entry didn't go exactly according to plan, but it's far from unsuccessful. Turn off stability assist, don't need it. So, and Ben says he had the same issue with snacks of them not depleting. I did have some snacks deplete on a mission that, what was it? Oh, I took Jeb to, in this save file, just to get some extra science, I took Jeb to the desert. It was really boring just flying the jet one way, flying it back the other way. But I left the Kerbal Space Center around sunset, so I would be in daytime the whole time I was flying towards the desert. Then when I landed in the desert, I fast-forwarded to morning, so that I would still be in day when I landed at Kerbal Space Center. And over the course of that time, he did eat, I think, 2 snacks. So I think it's one of those things where, like, there's a random probability that works out to about 1 per day per Kerbal, but it isn't exactly that. That's the only thing I can think of. So, because I definitely have seen the snacks go down. They are used. And I like that it's a fairly simple life support system, because... Oh! There we go, splashdown. Success! Let's recover this vessel. See what we got. Alright, 161 science. Right. Jeb gained 2 experience, apparently. So actually, let's take a look at that astronaut complex. Look at that. Jeb with the star. Awesome. So I think our next mission to the moon is going to include Valentina, because Valentina needs some experience too. But yeah, that was pretty great. So let's see. All right, chat window, chat box, whatever it is, chat zone. What am I getting next? I'm favoring electrics, because photovoltaic cells are awesome, and lights are awesome too if I ever remember to get them. But on the other hand, heavy rocketry is now a thing because I have the large fuel tanks, the 2.75, which I guess makes them medium, but still. General construction is actually something I can also get. I probably will. But yeah, of the tier 4, what are we looking at? What do you think? Actually, let's just go ahead and get general construction, yeah. So you'll notice that this is grayed out at 160. That is because if you notice right here, oh, wrong button. There we go. Research science limit is 100. If I upgrade it for a lot of Kerbucks, then the research science limit goes to 50. Kerbals can collect surface samples and resource transfer is available. Now, all of that would be great, but it would also reduce me to almost no money. So I want to do 1 or 2 more missions, unlock a few more things. That sounds like something I might do after a return from the moon. So, like land on the moon, transmit or recover scientific data from the moon, or from the surface of the moon. So that's going to be the next step. And Ben says that he likes solar panels, so that is what we're going to do. We're going to get electrics. Dude, here we go, electrics. Awesome. Alright. Transfer. Okay. Alright. Now, are there any quick contracts that would be good? Temperature scans. Rescue horny Kerbin from orbit. Alright, what is this going to be? Following. Okay, theories about how all Kerbals enjoy feeling weightless. No Kerbin orbit. Return him safely to Kerbin. So, alright. That's actually a pretty nice reward. And how long do I have to do it once I take it? It's 4 years? Oh, 4 years? Yeah, I can do it in the space of 4 years. Alright. So let's take that. Let's test the skipper liquid fuel engine landed in a Kerbin, because, of course, testing something landed in a Kerbin is an automatic get some money. Perform atmospheric scans on ensuring the surface, in-flight below. That actually sounds pretty good too. But I'll tell you what, I am going to be right back because I need a quick break. So please stand by. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for that delay. So, let's see. I want to take a look at where these Rockomax locations are. Because I think I can just get them in a plane. That would actually be pretty easy. So, depending on their locations... that is basically the other side of the world, though. Which means I would have to build a new plane. Well, let's see... How long do I have to complete this Oh, I'm building. I was clicking the wrong buildings. How long do I have to complete this, if I take it? 4 years? 11,000 each. Yeah, let's take it. Alright, so first things first, let's test that engine on the ground. Because, again, I'm always up for that. Okay, and we have the Probodobodine Octo, which is nice because unlike the Stay Putnik Mark 1, it has SAS. But let's see here, what we got. So we need to test this Skipper liquid fuel engine. So we put a Mark 1 command pod out. I'll put a fuel tank on top. Because I'm not actually sure, but I believe you actually do have to have a cruise thrust. And looks like a ridiculous hat, but I don't care. Oops. Let's bring that thrust way down. Let's bring this liquid fuel way down. Alright. And Ben says that planes are fun, and planes are fun. I just don't know that anyone wants to see me, in this episode, uncut, fly to the other side of Kerbin on a Weasley. That just... it just does not sound like something that I would want to watch. I mean, would you want to watch that? Me fly to the other side of Kerbin? On what would probably end up being like a pair of Weasleys? I probably wouldn't. Alright. So this is going to be a little tricky. Because I don't have RCS thrusters. At least I don't think I do. No, I don't. So let's do a little extra torque here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start off with my my Orbiter Zero, or my Apollo Creed. And Ben says that I watched him do the, you know, take rockets off to, or take a space plane but that was only halfway across Earth, Ben. This is literally the other side of the world. You went to basically from Cape Canaveral to Columbia on a Kerbin-sized Earth. This would be like me going from Cape Canaveral to, like, China. So it's a much more extensive proposition. So I need to have an extra passenger, and I don't want to add the aerodynamic drag of the crew canister, or the hitchhiker canister. So I'll just add an inline cockpit. How many parts am I at? 24? Alright, so here's what I'm going to try doing. I'm going to try... So, I realize this looks weird. And, yep, it's going to. That's fine. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't have any retrograde thrust. So if I want to slow down without having to turn, because maybe I don't have time to turn, I need to be able to do that. So add 3 thuds. I should have rotated them first, but whatever. So, Ben asks if I'm racist against China. No, I'm just cognizant of the distance between China and the United States of America, which is much higher than the distance between Colombia and the United States of America. If you're not counting Hawaii, since really we're talking about Florida to China. So, I don't know if this is going to work, but it will be fun, and I will call it Rescue 1. And we're going to launch it with Said I would take Valentina next time, so we're going to take Valentina. She's going to get some orbital experience. Alright, let's go, Val. I have no idea if this is going to work. Oh, no, it's not, because I did not put parachutes on it. So let's fix that. Revert that to the vehicle assembly. Definitely will not work without the parachutes. I have enough for 2 parachutes, which I hope will be enough. Actually, alright. I don't think I actually am going to need this. If I add extra torque, I can turn faster. I don't need all this extra thrust here, so I can cut down on how big my last stage is, which will also give me a tighter turn radius. Come on, there we go. So rather than doing that absurd thing, I'm going to do a more sensible thing. Maybe. Alright, did I put a heat shield on? There's another thing I don't need. Oops. Come on. Alright, heat shield. Doing fine with parts. We can get away with just nose cone. So one trick is holding Alt will disable radial attachment, and you can only do little green ball attachments. So if you're having trouble with this, hold down Alt, and it won't attach there. And Ben asks whether the political distance to China is greater than the political distance to Colombia, and I would say probably. I don't really know. I'm not really sure that I know how I would assess that. So what's the crash tolerance on this thing? Alright. Crash tolerance, 40 meters per second? Yeah, I don't need landing gear. No mono propellant. Alright. What do you think? Can I rescue whoever the heck, Kerbin? Let's find out. Alright. Here we go into orbit. Hopefully. Come on, rescue 1. So this is actually going to be my first rescue a Kerbal from orbit mission. If anyone has advice, let me know. I did not put a flight computer on here. I kind of wish I had. Oh well. That's what I'm looking at here. 2.3 meters. It's going to go up. But that's not a bad inclination. '91 and 82 is pretty high, and they're going to be behind me. Okay, so I'm going to want to get into a lower orbit. And somehow I'm lowering my orbital inclination, which works for me. unset his target for a little bit, just so I can see this apoapsis more clearly. Don't want it to go too high. On the other hand, if it drops too low, I won't make it to orbit. So, a bit of a balancing act. Ben asks that, or recommends that I rescue like a champion. And that is his advice, because I had earlier asked for advice. Okay. I'll try that. No promises. So I'm pointing down towards the ground a little bit, because that will actually lower my apoapsis slightly. And I don't want it to go too high, because if it crosses over this orbit, it will take me longer to encounter Corny's capsule. It's a rather unfortunate name, but, you know. Doing fine with time to apoapsis, but there goes my middle stage. Upper stage. Alright, let's see how we do. It's working pretty well. Still below the orbit of Corny's capsule, which is a plus. And there goes my apoapsis. Pretty far away. I don't want it to do that. I want it to stay near me. So that's why I'm time accelerating to it slightly. I'm just going to throttle back a bit. So yeah, at this point I'm definitely going to make it into orbit. That's not a problem. Here we go. So let's set his target. Not me to double click on Kerbin, but actually I want to be in a slightly higher orbit. I messed that up. Because I was not paying attention. So here we go. Drawing myself into a slightly higher orbit. Awesome. So let's circling that. So there we go. Doing fine on power. And Ben suggests not trying, but doing, because apparently Ben has been going to the Yoda School of Motivation. Okay. .7 kilometers, not great. 18. Come on, give me a better one. What have we got here? It's even worse. Oh, 0.6? That'll do. In 5 hours, so that'll be a little bit, but we're going to warp to it. Ben asks that I not he says that I do not shroot this, he says, and I will try not to shroot it. Luckily, since I have a quick save, I could revert back, so I don't think I'm going to shroot it, but you never know. Shrooting is always an option. And if you're watching this in the far future on YouTube, you don't know what shrooting is. It means to screw something up in an irreversible way. And it is a pop culture reference to the hit TV show, The Office. So there's your little bit of pop culture history. Yeah, it's going to take a little while to get through all of this warping, because I can go as fast as I'd like. Only go to 4. I could go to the Space Center and make it faster, but I don't want to. Which I know is something I criticized Ben for in one of his streams, and I apologize, because now I think I get it. I like being here in the map view, or alternately in just my regular old ship view, as Valentina Kerman goes around the planet. Where's her window? Maybe she should have been in this crew compartment where she could actually see things. So, does anyone know if this... I mean, it has a bulge here, but does it actually have an off-center center of mass? Does it shift my center of mass down this way? I don't actually know. I've never really checked. And I could see it going either way. And it isn't really designed for space... Well, it's designed for planes, whether space planes or just atmospheric planes. It's really not designed for rockets, which are supposed to have radial symmetry to the greatest degree possible. So, that is something that I should probably investigate. So, if someone could remind me on return that, yeah, then I should check that. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll go into the vehicle assembly bay and watch my center of mass. Oh, I still have a temperature thingy on here. Did not mean to include that, but I guess I'll use it on descent, because I don't think I have any high atmosphere temperature scans. So hey, some science I did not expect. That's always fun. Alright. I like looking at my stream every once in a while and watching it all happen seconds after. It's kind of weird. It's a bit strange. I do sometimes wish that the delay were lower, but then again, I also know that with a really low delay comes really high buffering, and watching something with buffering is a nightmare. So, yeah. In fact, on a live stream I was watching a few days ago, the buffering was so bad that I had two computers going on the same stream, and when one would start buffering, I would pause it and hit play on the other, and then alternate back and forth between them, which allowed me to stay roughly on top of the stream. So yeah, that wasn't too much fun. Well, actually, that's not right. I did really enjoy the stream. It just, the buffering was a hassle. And Ben, I like that you have reminded me while I'm still in space, but what I really need is a reminder after I'm back at the Kerbal Space Center. That is what I really need. And yeah, if you look on my YouTube channel, you will see a tutorial on how to do these custom decals and flags. So this dragon was originally some clip art. It was in the public domain. I believe it was CC0. I don't remember who made it, but I took it into GIMP and turned it red and gave it some basic shading and highlighting and a drop shadow and some flames. And yeah, now I get dragons on all of my spaceship parts. Well, all my spaceships, not all my parts. And on my flags. And if you look at episode 1 of Before Earth, An Odyssey Begins, you will see that the flag in the background in my rare footage of Zachariah Kerbin also has the dragon. So, in the space of only a few days, the Kerbals have gone from just noticing an alien monolith on their planet to having a fully functioning space program which has done at least a flyby of the moon. So they have they've progressed quite far, very fast. Kerbals, it turns out, are very intelligent. Or at least they're very good at science. They seem to be rather stupid when it comes to common sense and what would be a good idea from a safety point of view. But hey, that's why we like Kerbals, because they do things that humans would never do, because they're crazy. And Ben asked if it was his buffering, and in fact it was, and I didn't mention it during the stream because I didn't want you to try keep refreshing or anything, because it hadn't worked, and I also didn't want you to feel bad about the stream, because I was genuinely enjoying it, Ben. I really did have fun. So now we're actually closing in on the time frame when I can stop just, you know, talking about essentially nothing, just to make sure that there's not too much dead air, and actually start playing Kerbal Space Program again. Because this is a game of patience as much as it is a game of planning and skill. Although watching Kerbal whiz past underneath me is pretty cool. Or Kerbin. I keep calling Kerbin Kerbal, and I know that that's not right. At least I'm not calling it Earth. Alright, here we go. On the maneuver node. Some last little time acceleration to get us closer to the actual burn part. We're gonna do some... not going full throttle in this one because I want to get it very accurate. Alright, there we go, 0.0 meters. We are set up for a 0.7 kilometer encounter. Not bad. What's that quick saving? How did that happen? I don't know. Alright, so I'm in target mode. Where is my target? I can't even see it. Where'd it go? Where are you? Oh, there it is. Look at that. 52 kilometers away. Alright, so now I want to slow down a little bit relative to my target, and also get more exactly onto my target. Fire retrograde, so as to thrust backwards, slowing myself down, as well as bring this retrograde marker onto the anti-target node. Or not node, but vector. Alright. Oh no, it's going away from my anti-target vector again. Of course, because I am in curved space, that is something that's just going to happen. The only real concern at this point is running out of electrical charge before I get there. That would be a disaster. This would be so much easier if I had RCS. But I don't. Ah, come on. Alright, so if someone knows, I would love to know how close I need to be to actually EVA with this Kerbal I'm trying to rescue. Because I do not know. Now, of course, I'm going away from the spaceship. Yeah, well, so Ben says that Kerbals aren't smart about bringing lights, and that's definitely true, but part of the weird thing to me is that, they haven't apparently invented lights, is part of what's going on right now. Yeah, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Because I know that they have lights, because I see them in their buildings. So why don't they have lights? No one knows. Come on. Yeah, trying to make this maneuver without RCS is definitely a lot more challenging. I am not a super huge fan. I do like that my relative velocity goes down as this time wears on, because it allows me to continue thrusting towards my target without going super fast relative towards them. Or relative to them, because, you know, I know how to speak English. I know how prepositions work. So this is telling me I'm going to encounter 1.4 kilometers. Alright, so 3.3 kilometers. So, you might be asking, why didn't I just take that 0.7 kilometer rendezvous that I had set up with the maneuver node? And the reason is because Ben says that his Firefox locked up 2 minutes ago. I'm sorry. You probably didn't miss much. But the reason I'm not just taking the initial encounter is that, so the problem with that encounter is that I would be at a very high relative velocity. And that is not what I want. I want to be at a very low relative velocity. Because that way, I can more easily cross the distance in EVA. Which is what I'm going to have to do. In fact, I'm going to switch to this point. And Corny is going to get out. Turn on his RCS. And, yeah. But we are also going to, slow down. Because we are coming in way too hot. So, let's... I don't want Corny's capsule. Can I not switch to Corny? I'm gonna have to go to the... It looks like I'm gonna have to go to the Space Center real quick. That's unfortunate. Ugh. They really need to make it so that there's like some kind of list of what you can switch to. I don't know if that's implemented or what, but... Corny Kerman, fly. There we go. Alright. So he's coming in a little high. Drop him down a bit. So yeah, as you can tell, my relative velocity, just by looking at the rate of change here, is fairly low, which is good. So I want to rendezvous. Oh, and Corny Kerman was added. I've never seen that symbol before. Okay. So here we come. Just a little to the right. I guess I can't set it as my target. I just have to slowly approach it. Alright, how am I doing on EVA propellant? 4.87? Awesome. That is plenty. Alright. Looks like we are going to make this mission successfully without actually too much trouble. I mean, the initial encounter was a little bit hairy, but honestly, I think it went pretty well. So yeah, there we are. Just need to get in this thing. Down. Oh, come on. No, grab it! There we go. Well, there we are! Corny Kerbin is on board. And Ben says it went pretty good, a bit slow, but that's okay. And yeah, it is true. I went fairly slow. And honestly, that was intentional. I don't want to screw up a rescue mission. Of course, it says I have a 0 electrical charge, which doesn't make sense. This is a problem. How can I have 0 electrical charge? I cannot have 0 electrical charge. That is an impossibility. Nothing should have been lowering my electrical charge. So here's what we're gonna do. So we're going to EVA Valentina. Whoa. I should calm down. And we're gonna try and deorbit. No, no. What am I doing? Messing up the keys. So let's see if we can deorbit. Alright, so now that we've got it spinning, I might actually be able to deorbit on the engine. Maybe? I can get Valentina back in. Which, of course, I didn't. Yeah, this is, Alright, so what we're going to try doing is firing when we're in the retrograde, roughly, direction. This could go terribly. So all I've got is gimbal thrust vectoring. And I need that. Alright, so I'm definitely on a suborbital trajectory. But I need a little bit of thrust so I can steer. Oh goodness, this might be... This is going to be scary. Yeah, that is not what I intended to have happen. And Ben points out that SAS will cut electrical power, which is, I am now certain, what happened. I must have had it on when I left the ship, and then did all that time acceleration with it on, having it slowly drain power that it didn't need to drain. Which is awesome. It's not awesome. That's a lie. So since I'm still in the atmosphere, I can do a little bit of time acceleration without rotating. Then I hit the atmosphere, and I need a bit of thrust again. So, this will be interesting. To be honest, if this weren't a live stream and I didn't think it would be kind of cool, I probably would have just, redone that. But, I like the idea of, you know, Valentina gets out, she gives it a little retrograde push with her thrusters, then she gets it spinning, gets back in. You know, it shows off the skill of Valentina as a pilot. And me as a pilot controller guy. I mean, has Jeb done anything that cool in this save? And I can tell you, no, he hasn't. Even the boring stuff you haven't seen, well, of course, if it's boring, it's obviously not as cool. But, yeah. No, here we go, we got the heating coming. Stay on target. Stay on target. Nope, 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 nope. That is not on target. Here we go. That's on target. Come on. Ah! Too many buttons. I'm spinning out of control. This is no good. And now I'm pointing the exact wrong way. This is terrible. And my staging is all wrong. Wow. Wait, did I... Did I just... Yeah, Ben, my descent would have been fine like that, but I was not paying enough attention. I'm gonna crash into the ocean. Yep. I don't actually want to lose Valentina. So, it was a valiant effort. But, let's try that again, actually. And then after this, that's gonna be it. So let's try this one more time. What is my target? Guess I could point along it and then look at it. So there we go. Zipping by way too fast. Alright, so let's turn off SAS. Switch to Corny's capsule. This is maybe the way I should have done it in the first place, but you know, EVA. Make it so I'm going towards them again. There we go. Okay, this... Yeah, so... Ben blames Legs, which of course is the correct answer. It is in fact Legs' fault, because not only is he not playing Kerbal Space Program, he's playing FTL, but not recording it. I mean, who does that? Well, Legs being the obvious answer. Legs, for those of you who don't know, is a Navy buddy of mine and current roommate. So, there you go. Let's get a little closer. Let's just down a little bit. Alright, so let's hope we have battery power when I get back there. Should, because I switched off SAS. But, you never know. Stopped. So, one of the problems I have is that I always get shift and control mixed up when I'm on EVA. If you look closely as I'm playing, you will see that a lot. Ah, sunrise. There's that weird graphical artifact from, like, having a maneuver where I'm trying to encounter something. And I get these whenever I'm doing like a docking maneuver or any kind of rendezvous in space. It's weird. I do not understand why it does that. Yes, and as Ben says, Legs does in fact continually refuse to play KSP, and is in fact a Maroon. Ben's word, it's not mine. I don't understand it. He likes aeronautics, he likes space, he likes science things, but KSP, nope, does not do the KSP. I don't know why. Says it doesn't interest him, which I don't believe. I think, if I'm being honest, that he is doing it, or not doing it, out of a bit of spite, actually. Alright. And now we have plenty of power. Awesome. Let's unset this target. Let's get retrograde. And yeah, I'm just gonna fire from here. Get that periapsis down. 56, 55. Come on. Alright, I have to say though, that first attempt that was ruined, I actually, I think my attempt to save it was pretty good, all things being considered. I gotta say, I did not expect it to go as well as it did. I expected it to go much more poorly. So. And, Ben says that calling someone a maroon was Bugs Bunny's word. I don't know if that's true. It seems like it is a thing that could be true. I don't really know. Alright, here we go. We are in the atmosphere for our rocket-assisted descent to Kerbin. Doing some time acceleration just while I get lower into the atmosphere. So I was trying to do the whole like, oh, let's save power with no SAS, but you know what? At 57 SAS or power, I think I'm going to be okay for this descent. Rather than just me screwing up the descent again through trying to save power, I'll just leave the SAS on. So we probably won't get re-entry heating until we're about probably between 30 and 40 kilometers. Still want to be pointed retrograde. So let's go. Ben asks if he may post a link. You can give it a try. I'm not going to fiddle with the settings right now. Of course, no one on YouTube will be able to see it, but that's okay. So yeah, feel free to try. And if the link doesn't take, well, then I'll try to fiddle with my settings later to give you permission. Come on, heating. Here we go. Here's some re-entry heating. So, let's do some rocket assist. So I'm firing towards the ground a bit, as you can see. My nose is pointing up, so my rocket is pointing towards the ground. That is because I am wanting to slow down my vertical descent. So you can see this number dropping here if you're looking closely. So it got down below 20. And that's good. So let's continue. Getting some more heating, and my vertical speed is going up considerably again. So as you can see again, it's slowing down because I'm pointing my rocket engine towards the ground, so the nozzle is facing the ground. Slowing that down. It's going up again, so I'm gonna... That's okay. I can't really slow it down anymore. I mean, I can pitch up a little bit, but I'm just gonna let this rocket fuel run out. And now the reverse is true. If I want to slow down my vertical descent, I need to put my nose towards the ground so that the aerodynamic lift carry me up. So here we go. You can see me going past this, which means that it has more vertical speed than I do because I've pitched my nose towards the ground to take advantage of body lift. So, alright. Ben has posted a link to a YouTube video. And it is Bugs Bunny saying, "What a maroon." So yeah, he's correct on that one. Good job, Ben. Alright. So let's hope that this does not burn up my parachutes. Which, I just realized, they have deployed, haven't they? I swear, if I've screwed this up again, I am probably just going to record it off air. Because I think my staging was screwed up. Which is great. Yup! Oh. Well, that's just terrific. Unbelievable. I've said it before, staging is my worst enemy by far. Unbelievable. Well, it's not actually all that unbelievable. That kind of thing happens to me all the time. Yes, it is sucky. I wish if they hadn't deployed yet, like there was a way to say, nope, 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 mistake, do not deploy. I mean, that would be pretty great, right? But I guess there is no such way to do that. Well, I fixed that, and you know what? I'm quick saving with that fixed, because I do not want to have to reload having made that mistake yet again. Because that would, yeah, I would be pretty unhappy about that, if I were being honest. So, yeah, here's going to be the last attempt for the night. So, yeah. Now that first one where I valiantly tried to get Valentina to, get Valentina to fix the problem with her EVA pack, and, you know, my gimbal thrust vectoring and all that. That was actually pretty fun, because it was challenging. That second run was just me being a bit of an idiot, which is not so much fun. So yeah, let's try this again. EVA. Turn on the lights. And try this again. Because that descent was great, except for the fact that, yeah, my decoupler and my parachutes we're on the same stage. And really, I hate that that's actually almost the default setting. It's like, oh, you got parachutes and a decoupler on the same stage? Or, you know, attached to the same capsule? Let's put them on the same stage. Because when is that ever what I want? Really? The answer, of course, is, like, never. I'm going to blame this on RCS. And because Ben didn't tell me to get RCS, I'm also going to blame it on him. So Ben, this is your fault. This time. Yep. It's not my lack of paying attention to staging. It's not my limited capacity at rendezvousing in orbit. None of those things. It is because you did not tell me to bring to unlock RCS. And I see that now you have said that I can do it, which now makes me kind of feel bad for having blamed you for the whole debacle. So, sorry? Try and get to the other side of this thing. Well, I guess that wasn't necessary. I don't know. I don't remember where the stairs are. Come on, where are those stairs? Oh, there they are. Alright. Nope, I do not want this. Okay, so part of me thinks that this is just changing around the staging every time that I get out of it and get back in. I am now beginning to seriously think that. Because I cannot imagine why else this would be so much trouble. So... yeah. I may have been overzealous with that too. Oh well, I think I can survive it. So here we go, about to hit the atmosphere. And fall like a brick, really. And Ben, you are right, it is Leg's fault. That is the one thing that we can definitely agree on. It is his fault. Alright. Get that vertical velocity down. There we go. Not bad. Let's get some re-entry heating going here. At some point. Come on, re-entry heating. Okay, so maybe not, but I'm going to throttle back up because my vertical speed is really high, and I don't like that. But we're giving Corny a nice view, and that's that. Alright. We've not deployed the parachutes yet. Let's keep our vertical speed down. We are shooting down really fast. I do not like. Alright, out of that heating, man, I haven't been this nervous playing this game in a while. And there goes my electrical power, but that's okay. Because safe to deploy. There we go. Okay, so third time's a charm, I guess. Yeah. So there we go. So since this is going to be my last mission for the stream, I think it's time to reveal a little bit more of the plot. And that is that the monolith on Kerbin is public knowledge, but it seems that Kerbal scientists working for a secret government organization have found out that there is another monolith on the moon. And so parallel to the more open and acknowledged moon landing that is being planned by the Kerbal space program, there's going to be another secret moon landing to investigate this monolith and see what this monolith has to tell the Kerbals about their origins and the wider universe around them. So, the next episode will not be live streamed. It will be a pre-recorded, just like the first one was. So, expect to see some non-in-game elements added for plot reasons. I hope that you enjoy it. I really enjoyed making it, although it took a little bit longer than I expected to be honest. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I hope you are too. I'm really enjoying using the game as both just to play and have fun with, and also as a little bit of a storytelling vehicle. So, here we go, about to land. I don't need this anymore. Do we use any stacks up? No. Alright. Touchdown! Awesome. Cover that vehicle. Terrific. Cover a vessel from Kerbin orbit. I thought we'd already done that. Alright. Crew. Advanced level 1 and advanced level 1. Look at that. Corny and Valentina are now both level 1. And I do not know what kind of an astronaut Corny is. Let's find out. No, it doesn't say here. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, he's an engineer. Actually makes him a better engineer than, is it Bob or Bill? I can never keep it straight. Than Bill. So next time I need an engineer, I don't know, might take Corny. Alright. Let's see. Let's get out of here. Let's check on these contracts. Yep. Alright. So I really feel like upgrading my vehicle assembly building. That max parts up to 225 or 255 and action groups available is pretty awesome. And I now have a lot of extra money that I can use. So, yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger on that one. Look at that. Much fancier. Can't afford that, though. Alright, well that's it for me for the night. I really hope that you had a good time watching this. I had a lot of fun playing it, even if I did screw it up a little bit. And yeah, I'm not doing anything here, I just want to look around the vehicle assembly building. So, thanks for watching, and thanks for stopping by.